Welcome to Racky Gun Zero, and this is my first video ever to go up on YouTube, and it's also going to be my first Let's Play that I've ever made. So the Let's Play we're going to be doing today is Dark Souls, and what we're going to do is, instead of just doing a regular Let's Play through the game, we're going to focus on lore while exploring the world. So I'm going to try to highlight things maybe people have missed while playing through the game, and also talk about the lore as we discover it. And this video is going to be full of spoilers, so for anybody who hasn't played the game before, might want to watch some other Let's Plays, but if you want to know the lore while seeing the game, this will be a great video for you. So what we're doing here is choosing our class and gender and stuff. So the classes aren't set in stone. They are pretty much just pre-made level ups that let you either be a little bit more powerful at the beginning of the game because you're already level 6, as you can see with the Depraved, or the choice that most players take that have played for a while is you start with Pyromancer. Now this is for a few reasons. You start with Pyromancy, which early game is very powerful, and it really helps you get through some of the more difficult portions that they put in early in the game. And the second reason is you start as level 1, so what this will do is it'll let you choose your level ups as you go, and you can choose to build your character however you want. The second thing you see here is you choose a gift. Now, all these gifts except one you can find in-game. So the Master Key is the only one that you cannot find in-game, and it's also arguably the most powerful because what it lets you do is find a lot of early game shortcuts where instead of having to get a certain key through the game, you can just unlock the door. And it only works on not story-related games, or doors, I'm sorry. And so what it'll do is allow you to take shortcuts like down to Valley of Drakes from Lower and Orlando. The last thing we're doing here is we're just choosing some facial characteristics. It doesn't really matter because most of the game you're hollow and you look like a zombie anyways, and then outside of that you usually have a helmet on, your face is hidden, so just choosing some real quick. Now there are some funny builds that you can do. I know the guys at 4chan were doing a boar build where they get a boar's head helmets with the Katarina armor, and for some reason I think it clips their arms off, so they just kind of run around armless. Now the reason I ended up going with this hairstyle is because as I was playing this, my wife informed me that the balding character is the one that looks like he has the least amount of pubes on his forehead, so that's what I just went with. Now, like I was mentioning, what we're going to do is focus on the lore portion of the game. So what I'm going to try to do is take a cinematic route. So we are going to look at maybe some of the hidden things that you might have missed during your playthrough, and we're also going to talk about the lore very heavily as we see it. So this should finish up character creation, and that will get us into the opening video. Now from this opening video, this is where we actually learn a lot about the game. So prior to the fire coming to the world, as this portion of the video explains, is that the world was filled with darkness and the immortal dragons ruled over the lands. These dragons would ultimately be betrayed by one of their own, Seath the Scaleless. Now it never really goes into why he betrays them or why he was scaleless, which kind of indicates that he was not immortal. So with the coming of flame, it kind of brought the opposites to the world. So as this portion saying, light, dark, cold, heat kind of deal. So it's implied, and from the way I interpret it, is that the 4 lords that end up finding these fires existed before the fire. They might have been powerful deities or primordial beings themselves. So the first of these lords we have here is Gravelord Nito. He is the first of the dead, which certainly implies that before the fire came that there was from the way I interpret it, at least humans, because all those skeletons look like humans, and that they died in the darkness. Second up, we have the witch Izalith, who she also looks human to me, but later in the game you might see why she might not be. And last we have Gwyn here, who with him and his sons and daughters kind of create the land that we'll be playing in, and that's Anor Londo. They created an entire city just for the gods to live in. The last one we have here is the Furtive Pygmy, and he's actually your, I don't want to say ancestor, but you inherit his dark flame, I guess it is. But now all these lords banded together to take over the surface world, pretty much. Gwyn uses lightning magic to peel away their scales. The witches, which is Izalith and all of her daughters, weave flame magic everywhere, and then Nito poisons the shit out of them. And as we see here coming up, this is where it mentions that Seath betrayed them as well. In the game, it's mentioned that he was a confidant and kind of a close friend of Gwyn, so he actually ends up living in Anor Londo with them in the Duke's archives, and he starts doing some pretty nasty experimentation using the Primordial Crystal to try to get immortality for himself. And as we'll see in the game, and we'll go into it a lot more detail when we get there, but it looks like he might have been a major factor on why Anor Londo falls apart as much as it does. So now this is where we get into the current setting. Undead have started showing up all over the place. They've been marked with the dark sign, which means that once they die, they'll return as undead. Now, what happens with the undead is if they lose their humanity, which is they can either get it by killing a powerful human or from other undead, they go hollow and they lose their intelligence, is kind of a way to think about it, and they just turn into regular zombies. Our character has the dark sign. That dark sign is actually the Furtive Pygmy's dark flame that he has. And in the game, we can see we're going to be manipulated by two different forces trying to get us to do what they want. One of them will involve that sign a lot more. So now we'll be getting into the actual start of the game. We are in the Undead Asylum, which I believe it's the Knights of Thurland. Go around gathering up undead and dumping them off in this asylum. There's a legend that a undead will travel from this asylum and go into Anor Londo, ring 2 bells of awakening, and kind of reset the age. And that is going to be our primary mission in the game. Is either we have 2 paths to go down. One is where you pretty much do the same thing Gwyn did, and you restart the fire and you keep the age going as it is. Now the problem with this is it burns you up and sacrifices you to continue on this age, and that could arguably be, and the way I interpret it is that's the bad ending, because it's not the age of fire is gone. The second path we have is the Age of Darkness, where you actually extinguish the fire and become the Lord of Darkness, which it kind of implies that humans were supposed to inherit that anyways, and it's going to be the Age of Humans now. A lot of this lore, if you guys are interested in other lore videos, I highly suggest Epic Name Bro, which I will include in a link below. He's did a really good job of going over some of the lore as just an overview picture, but I kind of want to show you the lore in the game itself. So right there we are kicked down into a pit for being undead, which looked like Knight of Thorland to me. And we'll just take a scenic route here. Now, I forgot about the orange soapstone signs for anybody who's never played this game before. At the beginning here, it gives you, it's pretty much all your tutorial that you get is you walk up to these orange soapstones, you click on them, and it tells you how to attack, R1, R2 to attack, etc. Now, the first thing a lot of people miss is right here at the beginning, if you look to the right, you can actually see the Asylum Demon from the start. Now, this is not the first boss that you fight. This is if you return to Undead Asylum, fall through the floor. He's a upgraded bastard of the first boss. but a lot of people miss that you can see him right here at the beginning of the game. We'll take another peek at him before we head up. You can see him through this window here. I'll stop and look through. He's just a big bastard. Now the key to fighting him is you want to stay close to his ass, and you just he'll do one move where he'll explode in front of him, which does a little kickback behind him, and you'll have to just flip or roll away from that and then come back in. Now, as a warning, I was a little rusty through this video. I hadn't played since they announced the PC version, because I've just been saving the game for then. So I'm going to die a couple times here for just some pretty stupid crap. Like I said, I was just incredibly rusty. Now, this is a bonfire. Through using the Homeward Bone item, we learned that these bonfires are actually made out of the bones of undead, and you have to kindle them with humanity. So humanity has to sacrifice themselves, not only in their bones, but in their souls as well, to keep these fires lit, which is pretty evil if you ask me. Another thing a lot of people miss here is at the beginning you can actually see the Asylum Demon up top there, who's going to jump down and try to smash your ass. So what you have to do is you have to just run through. He jumps down right there. I should have taken a look at him, but that'll get you through the first portion, get you the second bonfire. Now these bonfires here at the beginning of the game don't incredibly matter because most of the creatures here, if you either played Demon Souls or you've played the game before, you shouldn't die here. Unless you're like me, and upcoming here you'll see that I do some pretty stupid crap. Now, as you can see, I'm rusty. I equipped my shield to my main hand, which doesn't do much good. Now what I was trying to go for as I was running up this path is you can actually dodge the arrows if you kind of just dodge back and forth, and instead I took one right to the noodle. So get up here, we'll get our hand axe, which is the opening equipment for the pyromancer. Now this hand axe, while it does do decent damage, it's terribly slow, and I'm not a fan of axes or maces in this game. I usually run with either spears, or I also really enjoy like falchions and the Uchigatana. Now, the build we'll be going for this game is I'm going to go with a two-handed Faith Strength build. I've never done it before, but I'm going to go for the Great Sword of Artorias. And for Covenants, I'm going to actually play, so you guys can see some of the co-op version, I'm going to play a Sunbro, which is someone who's taken a Covenant with Solaire. So now, here at the beginning of the game, you see that they kind of just... This tutorial pretty much shows you kind of everything they're going to throw at you through the rest of the game. Traps that you can't see that if they hit you will pretty much destroy you. And I'm going to shut up for a minute so you guys can hear this guy talking. It's kind of sets up the story for yourself.
I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now. And thank you.
So what he pretty much did was give us our healing item in this game. In Demon Souls, you could just eat grass, and the issue with that, is you can stack up tons of grass and you can pretty much just always keep yourself healed. In this game, as you notice, you only have 5 charges in your Estus Flask. There will be ways to increase it later. One is the Rite of Kindling, and the other way is by kindling a bonfire and then doing the Rite of Kindling to increase it even further. You can also, another nice thing to do is if you AFK around bonfires, anybody else kindling their fire will give you a +1 to your flask. So what we just picked up here was our Pyromancy, so we'll equip that to our main hand as our secondary option. And we'll murder these hollow real quick to get to the boss. And so here at the start you just have a couple of weak hollow with an archer back there that's just supposed to this is where you really learn in the game that you can't just rush in. You always got to take your time, plan ahead, try to drag them out. I keep trying to get the backstab on, but with them against the walls, and for some reason they hand axe. To me it feels like you have to be not behind the target, but to whatever way they're turning you have to be over extra. Now the trick to fighting this guy, as you see, I went for the backstab, didn't get it, but anytime you fight a shielded character, just kick them. That's the easiest way, or else you can just do like I do here and circle them. So there's the shield, so kick him, opens him up, cut him up. So now we'll go fight the Asylum Demon, and like I mentioned earlier, it's a huge fail on my part. I'm used to playing late game where I have a lot more health, a lot more armor. So the first thing you do not want to stay on that balcony because he will jump up and crash the balcony. So then the way to fight this guy is you're supposed to stay nice and close to him, but always stay on his back. I make the mistake of getting away from him because I was thinking, haha, I'll just Pyromancer him a couple times. But as you can see, his frontal range is incredibly huge, and it does a shit ton of damage. So here I should have backed off, used my Estus Flask, but I went with the idea of, hey, I'll rush in real quick, roll behind it, and get in the safe spot. So I died. Not that big of a deal. I think I have a whopping 200 souls. So when you die, what happens is you leave behind a little green splat. Now this little green splat has 2 things from you. It has all your souls, so if you look in the bottom right, I am down to 0 souls. And the second thing it does is it takes all your humanity, which is the counter in the upper left, which is considered soft humanity. Soft humanity is how much that counter is. Hard humanity is if you have the actual item in your inventory humanity. Another thing you notice in this video is whenever I unlocked the door by using the key that the guy in here gave to me, I didn't sit at that bonfire, so that means I had to respawn all the way back down. And here's another example of me just trying to rush through and getting hit by a pretty weak hollow. Now I'd like to use the excuse that I was pretty nervous since this is my first Let's Play and first recorded session, so we'll just go with that. Taking some more damage from the arrow, from the archer in the back. And let's see, just clearing up these mobs again. So I think I'll finally get a backstab on this guy, so you guys, if you've never played it before, can see that. So with the maces, you hit twice. The first hit does almost no damage, and then the second one will do the backstab damage, pretty much. Now there's going to be another fail here. I go for the diving attack, and instead I just walk right off the edge and take some freaking damage. So I should have probably deserved to die right there, but you know, luckily I get over my soul, get healed up, get Estused up, and then get through this demon. So after being embarrassed by the first death, I decided to try to play it safe, but again, not doing so hot. Like I said, it's been about a month since the last time I played. Trying to get used to the leading character, and I think after this video, after this fight, I got some of my magic back. Now, just go and fire his ass a couple times, get the kill, roll away, or don't roll away, almost die. Don't play it safe. You know, I could have easily died right there. You know, I mean, it's just bad. I'm embarrassed about this, but hey, it's Dark Souls, right? Prepare to die, I think is the catchphrase. So finally get the last pyro off, and he dies. And he'll drop a couple of things for us. He'll drop the key to the door there that's in front of us, and a whole butt ton of souls. Now these souls, what you use them for, it's the currency of the game, and it's also your experience. So you each level increases the amount of souls that you need to get to the next experience. As we're running through here, I made sure to take some shots of the background so you can just see how beautiful this game is. The wonderful thing about this game is once you get to Anor Londo, or to Firelink Shrine, you'll see it. It just, if you see something, you can go to it. The thing I'm showing you here is Snuggy, I think he is Snuggy the Crow's Nest. What you can do is you can come back here later in the game and drop items in that nest, log out, and log back in, and he'll give you a different item. So it's a way of exchanging items with him. And we're going to see him here in a second. He's actually going to carry us away from the asylum and to Firelink Shrine. I'll be quiet so you guys can listen to this part of the video.
That one day an undead shall be chosen.
So as you can see, the crow's kind enough to fly us to Anor Londo Firelink Shrine from the Undead Asylum.
Lordran.
So here we go through one of the loading screens, but as you can see in this video, now this video is not exactly gameplay, but you can see kind of like the different areas and how they all link together. When you get in the game, there's no loading screens. You go from one zone to the next. So we start off here in Firelink Shrine. You can see the bridge to Undeadburg there that it was just showing. I believe that's the great tree that's poking up there, which you get to from Undeadburg. So we'll rest at the bonfire here. So this is now our respawn location. And I'll be quiet here during so you can hear this conversation with the crestfallen warrior.
You must be a new arrival. Let me guess, fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So he pretty much breaks it to us not that there's not only just one Bell of Awakening, there's actually 2 Bells of Awakening, and he kind of set up the beginning quest. So now if no one ever talked to him, you would be confused on what to do. And next thing we're going to do is run up here and join the Covenant of the White, which is one of the covenants in the game. The only reason I'm doing that is so we can get this portion of the lore. Now I'll let you hear the conversation with this asshole.
I am Petrus of Thurland. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace.
So this asshole gives us a copper coin,
it's for you.
which I think is insult to injury right there.
Oh my, you again. Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
So we just entered the Covenant of the White. Now what this will let us do is it helps us help people.
Will be determined by
they can summon you into their game to help them fight bosses. And I think it also increases your chance of summoning people into your game to help you with bosses. So we'll just take a look at some of the miracles that he offers. I've never played a miracle build before, but that's the way I'm going to be going. You can learn a gesture from a lot of the NPCs, that shrug.
My companions,
and then here's the next part where we learn a little bit more about the story from him.
But burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm. An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith. Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics are given a mission to seek kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers.
So there we learn that it's the Way of the White's mission to go around collecting humanity and just feeding it to the fires. Now, this keeps the bonfires lit, but at the same time, you're sacrificing humanity, so it kind of, you know, it's very questionable as far as moral standpoint. Now we also learn that Milady, which later in the game a group of NPCs will show up there, is on a quest to find kindling in the catacombs and Tomb of the Giant, and that's actually, they're looking for the rite of kindling. So what we'll do is we'll hop across this wall here and we'll pick up some items here. So one of the things we'll get is a talisman. We'll get a Morning Star, which, like I mentioned, hand axe Morning Star, don't like it at all. The swing speed's way too slow. Leaves you open for counterattacks, for regular attacks, backstabs. So what we'll do here is here in a second, I don't remember if it's right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. Now, the lore is in the items. So, as you can see, whenever we I was mistaken. This is actually where I just get lost and turn around in a circle for a bit. I almost used the homeward bone. I couldn't remember where the little path was because it was blocked by line of sight on that wall. Now, from this box we'll get Lloyd's Talisman, which is a really good PvP item. It prevents other undead from using their Estus Flask. Now, so what we'll go through here is, if you guys could just read the lore portion, a lot of these, it'll explain a lot of the game. Now, unfortunately with my recording software here, I can't really see what items I'm looking at, but this is how you get the vast majority of the lore in the game. Is those little flavor texts in there actually explain everything. So like right here we're looking at the Homeward Bone, and that's where we actually learn that the fires are made out of the bones of the undead. Here's the one for humanity, which all of these have great flavor text as far as going through the lore. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to just cycle through all these beginning items. I apologize for not remembering what order I looked at them in, but what I'll do later in the game is I'll go through and I'll highlight the ones that really give us insight into the story thus far, kind of deal. And instead of having the video like this where I just look at all the items, I'll just highlight the ones that will give you the lore and talk about those items in detail. So here we'll go. So I'll finish up looking at all these items, flop around like a jackass for a few minutes, and then continue on so I can die again. So hopefully I can knock that rust off before I make my next video. Alright, so finally got my items layout. So what we're dropping down here is this is the path to the tombs and the Tomb of the Giant and the catacombs. So what I'm doing is I'm spreading in, I'm grabbing the winged spear. Now these guys are much higher level and will just destroy me, so I'm going to go grab the Zuyander, which is a wonderful two-handed weapon and might end up being the weapon that we use until we get the great sword of Artorias. Now, this is the point where I was like, oh yeah, I'm a pyromancer. I should be able to take some of these guys out for some souls. Now, I forgot, and whenever you are near that crow, it lags out really bad. Now, during that lag out, I ended up falling down off the edge there and getting smoked by a giant skeleton. So, hopefully we won't see that screen too often, but there it is again, twice in one video. During the loading screens, it shows you random items through the game, including the flavor text. So hopefully, if you've played through before, you guys have read that during the loading screens, picked up some of that. So we'll run over, grab the body real quick, pick up the souls, and then I believe that all we do after that is return to the bonfire and call it for a night. So thank you for watching my first video. Hopefully it'll get better with time. This is my, like I mentioned before, my first video ever. So you know, hopefully you guys can leave some comments, suggestions, that kind of deal. And I'll see you guys next time.